The California State Assembly is debating a Senate bill that would actually have penalties for people that post revenge porn on the internet. Now, I'm not exactly sure how they would enforce this, but according to the legislation, it would make revenge porn a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in prison and a $2,000 fine. So, of course, the World Wide Web is the World Wide Web, so I'm not exactly sure how they would determine whether the person is living in California. How do you go after that person? But I do agree that revenge porn is definitely problematic. I mean, you have women, for the most part, sending erotic photos to their significant others or videos to their significant others. They break up and the guy will post it online, and it can ruin her reputation. It could definitely ruin her chances of getting a job with certain employers. And I understand that it's an issue, but at the same time, don't take the erotic pictures and don't do the videos. I mean, you're willingly giving this to someone and you do run that risk. And the funny thing is, the ACLU is actually on the side against this legislation because they feel that this is constitutionally protected content. So, discuss.
Okay. Now, banning revenge porn, it sounds like a kind of a weird category. Like, how do we determine what's revenge porn, et cetera? Now, of course,
the nude photos or videos that were taken with consent but are being distributed without consent.
Yeah,
that's
so
what they classify.
I hear you, and that's not a bad way of distinguishing. I just wanted to be clear about that because I think to have a law saying you must give consent before your pictures, let's just, okay, and I think it's fair to say nude pictures or nude video is posted by someone else on the internet, I think that's a fine law. I think there's nothing wrong with that law. In fact, I think it could be pretty helpful. And look, I'm well-known advocate of porn on the internet. Okay, and I care about the First Amendment greatly, and and you could even call me a First Amendment extremist in some cases. And I like the ACLU, and I understand where they stand on this issue. But I don't think this is a First Amendment issue. I think this is a consent issue.
I think it's a consent issue as well. My problem with it is enforcement and how you go about enforcing it. I mean, it would be really difficult to do. What type of resources would you need to allocate for this type of legislation? So that's what I'm mostly concerned about. I hate revenge porn. I think it's disgusting, and it really does ruin someone's reputation, unfortunately, especially if someone's captured on tape sleeping with someone. On the other hand, if you're Kim Kardashian, it makes you tremendously wealthy. So, there could be upsides.
But that was released consensually.
Yeah, she definitely consented.
Yeah.
The other issue, though, related to consent, it's not just about consent, though, because when you send someone something, you've consented for them to have it. So you're really talking about some sort of secondary level of consent. You're saying, okay, it's like if you gave someone a gift, well, once they have that gift, they can do whatever they want with it. You know what I mean?
That would be nice if we could get a secondary consent on regifting. I did not consent to you regifting that.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so here's another question. I mean, do you have to sign a form? Like, do you have to have actual paperwork indicating that you do consent to this content being posted on the internet? I mean, that's crazy. Who's going to do that?
I don't think it's crazy at all. Look, when you shoot a video in a professional production, TV production, movie production, etc., you get consent forms, right, to use their images, etc. So before you publish nude pictures or video on the internet, to get consent forms from the people who are in those is not unreasonable at all, if you ask me.
So what if someone moves from California to Nevada, for example?
All right, send it in the mail or email it to them and have them email it back to you.
Right, but also in the scheme of how this goes down,
it will not be illegal in another state. I mean, this is a state
law.
law.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I mean, this is just California, and California cannot, regulate the entire internet or everyone,
No, of course, you're right about that. But they're starting in their own way.
Exactly.
And California often sets the precedent, and then sometimes other states and jurisdictions will follow.
Right, but just the way these types of things go down, when you send a naked picture to somebody, generally you're not going to be like, first I want you to sign this, and then I'll send you this picture. You know what I mean? It sort of goes down in the heat of battle, right? So.
Yeah. I think in terms of enforcement and in terms, because they say here, it can't simply be that the photos or the videos got out. You have to show that they did it on purpose with some sort of malicious intent. So I think that the only time that they're actually going to convict anyone is when there's some sort of admission, confession, or bragging, which does happen. Some people are stupid enough that they say, ha, I distributed this. And I think that those people will get caught. Little side note, if you send a naked picture or a naked video over the internet now, you should understand that you're consenting to at least a few NSA employees watching it, at the very least.
That's true.
And also, an addendum to what you were saying earlier about just don't take them, I think that you can take them, but you should only take the photos or videos that you are fine with everyone you know watching.
Exactly.
As
As
a
long
general
as you
rule.
have that in the back of your mind, then sure, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But anytime you take a naked picture, like for instance, anytime I even consider it, I think, how would I feel if my parents saw this? And then
Yeah.
I decide I'm not going to take this picture.
Okay.
So,
One last rule, though, except if you send it to me, because you can totally trust me.
whatever.
He'll sign something that says that. So.
Yeah, and just think about this. If you're sending it to someone, have you ever, like, is it possible that you might break up with them? Right?
Of course.
Like the answer to that is of course.
Yeah.
And in breakups, have you seen people be malicious after the breakup?
Never.
Okay, just keep that in mind.